Right now, investors are getting ripped off. That's right, they're getting scammed by, believe it or not a company, not a stock promoter, by actually a stock exchange itself. That's right, it's unbelievable. This is a travesty of justice. I'm in the financial markets almost 30 years. I've never seen anything like this. It's disgusting. What am I talking about? I'm talking about the Canadian Securities Exchange. Mark Faulkner, he's a crooked cop, and he's been caught. That's right, he's been caught committing fraud. Okay, Mark Faulkner, red-handed, caught committing fraud by our attorneys. Okay, now let me give you the background of the story. New World Solutions, that's the company that I was the chairman of. Okay, I'm the CEO of Dial Market, wholly owned by News. When I get involved, the stock was trading at a penny. It had zero volume. Okay, News was dead in the water. Once we merged in Dial Market, the stock went to 4 cents very quickly, which is not a big deal. Again, I think this thing has potential to be, I don't know, dollar stock. Why not? I mean, look, we have tremendous pipeline of potential acquisitions. We have tremendous organic growth. I see a real path to get there. Again, I'm not saying it's going to get there. This is not investment advice. This is not what this video is all about. What we're talking about is this. New World Solutions, let's recap. It was trading at a penny, hit 4 cents, and all of a sudden, this guy, Mark Faulkner, decides, you know what? He doesn't like somebody involved in the company for no reason. No reason. He doesn't give it any reason. Nothing. He comes up with some fabricated story, which is very, easily seen through, and it turns out to be a fraud. Okay, it turns out the basis of his decision, the basis of Mark Faulkner's decision was fraudulent. Okay, it was based on a personal vendetta that he has, or some crazy, crooked cop mentality. Okay, again, look. This guy is he's a frustrated motorcycle cop. His background, okay, you'd think a guy running a stock exchange, running the regulations of a stock exchange, would have a legal background, a finance background, maybe investment banking, CFA. No, he was basically been a motorcycle instructor for 30 years, and then he's been a trading clerk at the TSX, glorified trading clerk. He's got zero background, nothing related to relevant to being a regulator of a securities exchange. No law degree, no MBA, no CFA, nothing. I mean, not even a stockbroker license, believe it or not. I mean, I had a stockbroker license when I was 18. I had a commodity futures license when I was 16. Okay, I was more qualified to run the CSC regulations when I was 16 than Mark Faulkner is today. Okay, the guy's a fucking disgrace. Now, let me tell you what happened. So he decides to hold the stock, again, without any basis. He acted in bad faith. Okay, we had an agreement for the stock to be trading again if I step down as chairman, pending a hearing. It would be a hearing. Okay, again, it's a kangaroo court at the CSE, but there's a hearing, in theory. And guess what happens? So, my attorney, starts emailing back and forth, requesting certain documentation, proof, any type of evidence of this, like alleged fault finding that they have with yours truly. They haven't come up with anything. The CSE has not come up with anything legitimate. But worse, Mark Faulkner submitted documents that showed that he basically doctored certain records. Okay, he committed fraud. Mark Faulkner committed fraud. Okay, why? Again, it's like that crooked cop mentality. If they think you're guilty of something, if they don't like you, they're going to plant evidence on you, okay? If they don't like you, they're going to, try to, get some false confession, get somebody else to make a false confession. It's the crooked cop mentality. Unfortunately, look, again, the police are essential, regulations are essential, but what happens is, when you give the wrong person power, it can really corrupt them. And Mark Faulkner is a guy who basically got a taste of power. He got a little taste of power, and, it went to his head. Okay, he's basically, I don't know if he's a psychopath, sociopath. I have no idea. I'm not here to give a diagnosis. What's obvious though is he's happy to rip off investors like you. Okay, Mark Faulkner is happy. He's happy, and he's gloating. He's gloating. The fact that investors in the stock in New World Solutions, instead of making potentially 10 times their money, okay, and they were already up 300%. He wants to take that away. He wants to take that away from you. He wants you to lose everything. Why? To get me. That's right, or maybe to get you. I'm in the way. Okay, it's like Trump. I'm in the way. He wants you. Okay, because here's the thing. This guy, basically, again, he's totally unsuitable. Let me use that word again, unsuitable. Mark Faulkner is unsuitable to be the regulator of the CSE. He's unqualified by all means. Okay, and he needs basically to look for some sort of bad guy, which would justify him keeping his job, right? If they hold stocks or whatever, they claim something is wrong. By the way, there's been no wrongdoing, nothing. Now, Dial Market last month, we had the breakout month. I told you guys what was happening. The company was at the inflection point, and it's happening now. We hit a run rate of 6 figures last month. In the first month of December, that was our first month of real revenues. Again, that's just month number one. Month number one. December was month number one. And like I told you before, once we started the e-commerce, we were expecting real growth, and it's happening. Okay, now I believe we're going to be on a path to hit a 7-figure trajectory in the next, 6 to 9 months. Okay, we're in January now, so I think by June, maybe by September, we'll be doing 7 figures. We'll be on a trajectory of 7 figures. I think we can exit 2025 at a run rate of 3 to 5 million. I've said this a couple of times, based on inventory we have now, based on access to inventory, organic growth, not including M&A. M&A, I'm looking at. I told you guys I have a pipeline of potentially 100 million plus in transactions, potentially 100 million plus revenues from the companies in our M&A pipeline. Now again, no guarantees. We're not saying it's going to happen. The likelihood of any of these things is always low probabilities. It could be like 25%, 30%. I don't know. But you gotta keep swinging, right? That's what the free enterprise system is all about. It's not about a guarantee. Okay, it's just it's not about a guaranteed outcome. It's about giving everybody an equal playing field, an equal opportunity to take a shot. Okay, that's what the free enterprise system is all about. That's why people buy stocks, so they can have a shot at making money. That's why people start businesses, so they have a shot at making money. Nothing is guaranteed. Half of all businesses fail. Okay. By the way, the CSE is down 90%. The CSE index is down 90% over the last 5 years. Okay, it's the worst performing stock market index on the planet. Okay, this is a fact. The CSE is known as the Canadian Scam Exchange. It's unfortunate because it has great potential. The problem is it's guys like this guy Mark Faulkner. Here's the problem. Okay. He, again, like I said, he's a crooked regulator. He was caught in a fraud, and guess what he did? We were supposed to have the hearing January 15th. Okay, so to clear up this nonsense, this bullshit that he came up with, and then in theory the stock would be unhalted afterwards, right? What happens at the last minute? Because Faulkner was caught committing fraud. We get a letter at 9 o'clock at night on a Friday night, 9 o'clock at night, from the CSE brought in an outside law firm, outside counsel, one of the biggest law firms in Canada, and they decided, hey, we're going to adjourn this hearing for 2 weeks. That's right, the CSE without consulting our lawyers, just they decide by themselves, we're going to adjourn this hearing for 2 weeks. We're going to delay this, maybe even longer, maybe forever. They're again, these guys. The problem is this. Here's the problem with this corruption. The problem of corruption is they can make whatever rules they want, which apparently is what they're doing right now. They've been proven to be dealing in bad faith. Okay, they've been shown to be dealing in bad faith multiple times. First, they halted the stock. They agreed to let it trade if I step down as chairman. They halted it again, which again, dealing in bad faith. Adjourning this hearing for 2 weeks, or maybe who knows how long. Again, they did it unilaterally. They decided we're going to adjourn this hearing, and we'll get to it whenever we want to get to it. Okay, so that's what they decided to do. Without any, which by the way is really unheard of. It's unheard of for that type of thing to happen. But again, we're dealing with a third world exchange. The CSE is embarrassing itself. They're really, it's sad because this exchange, I believe, has so much potential. There's a real need to have a real venture type of exchange, right? But when you have this type of behavior where regulators can decide that, who they like, who they don't like. And by the way, we know that Mark Faulkner, there are certain companies he likes. Okay, there are certain companies he likes. There's certain companies that he's promoting on his Twitter page. That's right. Mark Faulkner is promoting stock. And by the way, most of the stocks that Mark Faulkner has promoted are down between 90% and 100%. Okay, stocks like MedMen, some other nonsense. A lot of cannabis stuff. I don't know if the guy's a pothead or something. Who knows? I don't know. But it's a total disgrace. Now, it actually gets worse. It gets worse because this guy, we have such a paper trail of documentation. If this was the U.S., he might be sent to prison for life. Well, maybe not for life, but I think he could be looking at prison time, Mark Faulkner. And we intend to have him prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law. Okay, we're going to be suing him. Okay, there's going to be lawsuits against him, against the CSE, everybody involved in this catastrophe. Okay, the people who have been robbing and raping you. That's right. Mark Faulkner is a rapist. Okay, he's raping you and robbing you of your right to be making a profit in New World Solutions. Because I believe New World could be trading at 10 cents or more right now. That's right. I believe it could be 10 cents or more right now. Why? Because I said so? No. I'll tell you exactly why. Because, again, we hit a run rate of, 6 figures plus, on the way to 7 figures. Basis, again, velocity. The market pays for velocity. The market wants to see revenue velocity. Okay, I've always told you that. That's one of the premises of my book, 10-Bagger Blueprint, #1 bestseller on Amazon, where I showed you, how do you find stocks that become 10 baggers, okay? The market likes upside surprises, okay? The market likes upside surprises, and the market wants to see explosive revenues coming out of nowhere, okay? That's what the market wants to see, and that's exactly what New World is delivering. So if we're going to do, let's say we're going to do, and the market is also forward-looking, so keep that in mind. So if we're going to do potentially, let's call it, let's say 3 million. Let's just say 3 million. 3 million revenues, which by the way is nothing. We have a path to get there. We have everything in place which could make that happen. I'm not saying will happen. I said could make it happen. Again, nothing is certain in life. Nothing is certain in life. As you can see, we could have everything going perfectly, and then all of a sudden, some scumbag crooked cop like Mark Faulkner decides, you know what? He's gonna put his thumb on the scales. Okay, he's gonna put his thumb on the scales. And then you have this travesty of justice. Mark Faulkner, basically, he's destroying investors' faith and trust in the rule of law in the capital markets. Mark Faulkner single-handedly is responsible for destroying the reputation, the trust, and the credibility of the Canadian Securities Exchange based on his actions. And by the way, this is going to be documented. This is going to be articles. This is going to be documentaries coming at us. We're going to make it all happen, okay? We're going to make this guy famous, okay? We're going to make the CSE famous, unfortunately. Or I should say our lawyers are going to do that because, once we file this lawsuit and, goes to the jury, and if the jury awards something juicy enough, maybe it'll bankrupt the CSE. Who knows? It could happen. Look, I've had major settlements against public companies bigger than the CSE, okay? I've had to sue companies much more powerful, better lawyers, more money than the CSE, and I won, okay? And I'm going to win here, okay? I'm going to do it not just for me, I'm going to do it for you as shareholders of New World Solutions, because you deserve a fair shake. You deserve a fair shake, and you've been taken advantage of. You've been raped and robbed by Mark Faulkner, and we're going to bring him to justice by any means necessary, okay? Mark Faulkner, if you're watching this, you're going to be brought to justice by any means necessary, okay, pal? All right. Now, what is going to happen? So we have this hearing. We don't know when it's going to happen because, again, the CSC decided last minute 9 o'clock on a Friday night to reschedule. Date unknown, right? Why? Why did they bring in this outside lawyer? It's unusual for an exchange, for a hearing, to bring in an outside law firm to handle it. A partner in an outside law firm. Why? Because they know Faulkner is a crooked cop, and they need to cover up. Okay, there's a cover-up happening. And let me tell you something, just like Watergate, the cover-up is worse than the crime. The cover-up, Mark Faulkner, if you're watching, the cover-up is worse than the crime. You've been caught red-handed. Okay, you and your boyfriend, okay? Rob Therio. Actually, I don't know the extent to Rob Therio's involvement, but we know also he's unqualified and unsuitable. Another guy who's got no background, no relevant background, no law degree. I mean, guy's basically a failed stockbroker who worked at Edward Jones, which is like, Edward Jones is like a place you get a job when you can't get hired by anybody else. It's true. It's true. Now, what is going to happen? What is going to happen? We don't know, but here's what this guy wants to do. Mark Faulkner wants to unwind the dial market and news transaction. Okay, that is how crooked he is. He wants to take a company. Okay, now New World Solutions News, you all know, was doing no business. I mean, they did, I don't know, very minor revenues. I mean, last year, dial market did more in December, in the first month, than news did for all of 2024. It's a fact. Dial market did more gross revenues than news did for all of 2024. Now, you would think, it would be good to, keep things as is, get the stock trading so investors can make money. No, Mark Faulkner wants you to lose money. He wants to cause the unwinding. In other words, he wants New World to unwind the deal. So I get back dial market, and you end up with nothing. You, as shareholders, actually, I'm also a shareholder. I'm a major shareholder. In news, we would get nothing. And by the way, dial market, with or without news, I think we're going to do that 35 million a year organically. Okay. With one hand tied behind my back, I could do it. And because look, this is what's happening right now. Mark Faulkner has been, again, meddling with the business, holding the stock. That's really screwed up a lot of things, frankly. I mean, and, maybe this a tortious interference case. Look, Mark Faulkner is going to pay the price, okay? He's going to pay the price. We're going to take him to court. He's going to face a jury. There's going to be depositions. It's going to be humiliating for him, for his family, for the exchange, for everybody involved. Okay, he's a disgrace, all right? This guy, Mark Faulkner, he wants to unwind the deal. Think about what that means. Allegedly, the CSE has, they're concerned about investor protection. Investor protection. That's what they talk about. Investor protection. Investor protection is very important for the CSE. Now, if you're concerned about protecting investors, why would you want to take a situation where they're making money and force them to lose money? Okay, let me explain. Mark Faulkner wants to take a situation where investors are making money, they're up. Okay, they're up. News is up from a penny to, almost 4 cents. It'd probably be 10 cents today, okay? Would most likely be 10 cents today, in my opinion, again. And he wants to take away the engine of growth, the engine of revenues, and take all that away and leave the shareholders with basically a business that's, I don't think worth anything, frankly. Frankly, without dial market, I don't think news is worth anything. That's my honest opinion. No offense to the people at news and all that. I don't think it's worth anything. I think news is going to be trading at below a penny. Probably, I don't think it's going to go to zero, right? I mean, these things always go to like zero or whatever, but it's going to go below a penny if the dial market deal is forced to be unwound, okay? And that means that Mark Faulkner is going to be responsible 100% for your losses. Let me repeat, Mark Faulkner, the CSE, is responsible 100% if you lose money because the deal is forced to be unwound. That's right. It makes no economic sense. But again, Mark Faulkner is a moron. He doesn't have an MBA. He never went to law school. He doesn't have any business experience. And neither does Rob Therio. Rob Therio is another moron there. I think he has an MBA from a third world shithole school but he has no real business experience. He never ran a business. He never he never met a payroll. Rob Ferrio has never had any real business experience. I mean, he's worked like in very junior, very low-end positions, like the type of jobs I had when I was 18. Okay, he wouldn't get hired at a place like Goldman. Oh, forget about Goldman Sachs. I'm talking about like shit. He wouldn't get hired at Mackey Research Capital. No offense to Research Capital in Canada. He wouldn't get hired at one of the, some of the bottom feeder firms in Canada. That's how bad this guy is, okay? At a low-end position. These guys have zero experience. They've never run any business. They've never met a payroll. They're just fucking parasites, okay? They're parasites sucking on your blood, sucking on your money, and they need to be brought to justice. Let me repeat again, okay? In case I wasn't clear, if a dial market news, if that transaction is forced to be unwound, investors are going to lose all their money, okay? And the fault will be 100% with Mark Faulkner and the directors of the CSE. I'm talking about the directors. They're going to be at fault because they have the responsibility of oversight. The directors of the CSE have responsibility for oversight of Mark Faulkner and of regulations, okay, and of corruption, and fraud, which is what Mark Faulkner has been found to be doing right now. He's been found committing fraud, and apparently this is corruption. Okay, he has inappropriate relationships with other promoters. He's inappropriately promoting stocks on his Twitter page. So basically, he's putting his thumb on the scale to decide who the winners and losers are. That's what he's doing with his position of power. He's abusing his power. Mark Faulkner is actually the most powerful guy at the CSE. He is the most powerful man at the CSE. More powerful than the CEO, okay? Because he's the guy, Faulkner, is the guy that makes the regulations. He's enforcing the regulations, okay? And when you put in a piece of shit like that, to be the cop running the exchange, bad things happen, as we're seeing now. Investors are going to lose millions of dollars, just like they've lost hundreds of millions of dollars with Mark Faulkner stock picks that he promoted on his Twitter account, okay, including MedMen. That's right, Mark Faulkner was promoting MedMen, and it's a travesty. This would never happen in the U.S. Okay, in the U.S., NASDAQ, OTC, New York Stock Exchange, Amex, the regulators there are professionals. They all have advanced degrees. They have business experience. I mean, they're professionals. They don't just take guys out of from Motorcycle Academy, They don't take guys from the local Hell's Angels club and say, hey, you want to be a regulator here? That doesn't happen. Canada should be ashamed of itself. But then again, this is the place that had Justin Trudeau as the prime minister. I mean, Justin Trudeau, guy's a clown. Okay, but that's it's the same mentality that the Canadians were. The whole trucker protest during COVID. What they did was they froze people's bank accounts. They took away their children. That's right, the truckers. I don't know if they actually did take away their children, but they threatened them that they would take away their children and put them into foster care. Okay, that's Canada for you. Okay, let me explain to you. Mark Faulkner is that guy. He decides to make up rules or whatever he sees fit. He's got that vigilante, crooked cop mentality. He wants to take away your children, put them into foster care. He wants to, freeze your bank accounts, grab your money, because he thinks you might have done something wrong, maybe, or he doesn't like you. He thinks, he thinks you're unpresidential. Like Trump. They called him unpresidential. What does that mean, unpresidential? I don't know. Bill Clinton was presidential, right? Bill Clinton, great guy, right? Bill Clinton was getting blowjobs in the White House. His wife, allegedly they killed a lot of people. The Clinton body count, right? Allegedly, I don't know, but he definitely was getting blowjobs in the Oval Office. Okay, who knows what else? This guy is one of the most disgusting human beings, and he got very lucky. He got very lucky with the economy during his term, and I think he's a great guy. I think he's a fun guy, Bill Clinton. I think he's a funny guy, charming guy. But using word unpresidential, all these words. Look. Mark Faulkner must be brought to justice for the shareholders of New World Solutions. That's my message to you.